Yeah, so just doing a quick brief on who we are. Like most of you know, I'm guessing most of us have already been through a few of our webinars. So quickly running through this part, we are an organization called Walnut Knowledge Solutions who run the Q-Shala program, and we aim at piquing curiosity of children. And we've done this for 80,000 plus students until now. And we've partnered with 80 plus schools to conduct our Q-Shala programs along with them. We've designed and delivered around 500 plus school curiosity events, maybe quizzes, maybe Q-Shala programs, or just engagement events for them. And online, as part of our online family quiz and the other quizzes that we have, we've engaged 2,000 plus students and parents online. And because we are curious, we thought, how about we go and explore Antarctica and do a quiz over there? And we won a Limca Book of Records for being the first and only company in the world to have conducted a quiz in Antarctica. And once we conquer Antarctica, we thought, why not go ahead and cover the entire world? And that's how we got another Limca Book of Records for being the only company who has conducted a quiz in all the 7 continents. And why are we doing this webinar for you? Because we have been engaging with around 6,500 plus families, not only from India, but from Japan, UAE, Norway, and the US. So we do know a little bit about how we can engage kids in the online space. And we are ready. We would love to conduct a family quiz for you at your school, for your children, for your students. Get in touch with us to know more. And if you want to, attend a few of our family quizzes and see how our quizzes work, we will be sharing the link on the chat box in a bit now. I'll see if I can share that right now with you. Right. So these are the details for our family quiz. I'll be sharing it at the end of the session also. You can either observe some of our family quizzes that happen almost every Sunday, or you can directly ask us to get in touch with you or your school, and we will get in touch with you and share more details about how we can do an exclusive family quiz with you. All right, so without any further ado, let's start off with what we have in store for today. Let's Kahoot. My colleague Vaishnavi will be taking you through the process of how you can create a quiz on Kahoot, and we'll be running a quick quiz for all of you. I hope everybody has another device. I'm hoping you're logged in from your laptops and you have your mobile phones next to you to run a quick quiz on Kahoot as well. Over to you, Vaishnavi.
Yeah, thank you, Shilpa. So let me share my screen. Okay. Just a second. Let me share again. Okay, superb. Can everybody see my screen? Give us a thumbs up if you can. Okay, superb. So I have a quiz ready for today's webinar. So in the previous editions, we've dealt about what are the different types of questions that you can create. You have your normal MCQ question with an image or a video. You have a true or false. You have a puzzle, which can be used for arranging in chronological order, so on and so forth. We realize one of the major problems that we face with Kahoot is kids don't have 2 devices, and there is a lot of internet problems that kids face. So Kahoot can also be used as a homework technique. So let's see how we can do that. So teachers webinar quiz is what we have here. And when I click on play here, you have 2 options. One is teach and the second one is assign. When you click on teach, we can do a live game that we will be doing right now. And the second one is called assign. So when you assign, you're giving it as a homework. So let me click on assign. You can decide by when the Kahoot challenge should be completed. So here I'm fixing it as Friday, and I want this Kahoot to be completed by 10 a.m. on Friday. I also want a question timer and personalize. Again, you can see players can practice difficult questions after a live game. If you want them to do that, you can turn on this option, and you have random answer order. So if you think kids are going to copy, so you want to randomize the answer order, you can turn this on. Nickname generator is if you don't want kids to enter inappropriate nicknames, you can do that. Else you can have the kids enter their own names and you can monitor it. So as this is a paid account, we have a player limit of 2000. Once I'm done with all the settings, I can go and create a challenge. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. Now, I heard one of the teachers say, how do I share the Kahoot with other teachers on Teams or other places? So you can see the options here. If you're using Google Classroom, you can click on this. If you're using Teams, you can click on this, Facebook, Twitter, or if you just want to share it on WhatsApp, you can just copy this link and you can just paste it and share it. And say midway you decide that you want to change the deadline and you don't want to give them time till Friday, you want it to be done before Friday, you can click on change deadline and you can modify it to be 9th, and you can also change the timings and you can click on save. And say for some reason you decide that you don't want to go ahead with this homework at all, then you can just click on end now and you can end this. And as you see, you will get a detailed report here, which shows you how many questions were the kids struggling with, how many questions do they need help with, how many questions the kids were not able to finish. So this gives you an idea about the difficulty level of the questions that you have created. So this is how you have this is how you create a challenge. And you also have different report options. You can download the report and you get it in the form of an Excel. You can print it and you can share it with the school authorities. And yeah, you can also view report. And if you feel that it is not relevant, you can delete it, but I would advise against it. So that is the challenge part of it. Let's go back to our Kahoot. Okay, and now we will be running it live. So yes, let's play live. Is the sharing option there on free? Like Shilpa mentioned, ma'am. So if most of the, if you register as a school, I think the free option is available. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, looks like my internet's a bit slow. Okay, sure. Okay, just give me a second. Shilpa, can we run Kahoot from your laptop? Yeah, Shilpa, just click on play. Yeah, click on teach. Yeah. So as you can see, you can choose a classic version or a team mode version. So team mode is when you're doing it in class and you have 30, 40 children, but you don't have 30, 40 devices, right? And you give one device per team. So that is when you use the team mode. But I would advise you to use the classic mode. So Shilpa, just scroll down a bit. So you have the game options. Click on game options.
All right.
Yeah. So you can have a friendly nickname generator. So when you click on that, you will get nicknames and you won't get the actual name. So please don't use that. And you have personalized learning, like I mentioned during the challenge. This allows, when you turn on this option, it means that the children can attempt it again and again. Okay. And can we go down a little bit, Shilpa? Yeah. And your other settings as usual, lobby music to put some stress on the children when they are attempting these questions. Random order of questions. If you want to, if you change the order of the questions, you can turn on that option. Randomize order of answers. And if you want to give minimum instructions, I think you can turn on that. Yeah, the rest of the steps are so the other beautiful part about Kahoot is all the options are very intuitive. So even if you don't know what it is, you can just hover around it and you will know what it is. Yeah. And rejoin after every game, very self-explanatory. And at any point in time when you're running a live quiz, say one of the participants gets logged out, they can enter the Kahoot pin and they can come back to the game again. Yeah. Okay, so those were the options. So let's just scroll up, Shilpa, and click on classic. Okay, and with that, let's continue full screen. So that's the Kahoot pin. You can adjust the music on top. Yeah. So 7021527 is the Kahoot pin. So on another device, apart from the one where you're using the Zoom, please go to kahoot.it. So this is something that happens in our family quiz as well. People enter random nicknames and it's very difficult to trace them and give them prizes. And so what we do is we ask them to send us a message on chat saying woohoo means the actual name. So pulse means this is the real name, so that it's easier for us to track prizes. Yeah, so when you're asking your students to log into Kahoot again, please ask them to enter with their real names and not nicknames. So we have 11 players so far.
While they are joining, Ms. Shripriya has a question, Vaishnavi. She's asking if the kids click on the link that we share on the Google Classroom or wherever,
Yes.
will they have to log in? I'm assuming they don't have to, right? They just have to enter the game pin and...
Yeah, they just have to enter the, click on the link and enter the game pin, which you automatically get when you're sharing the link, and just continue. You don't have to create a Kahoot account. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so we have 18 players. Come on, we can do more than that. We have 47 participants. We're going to wait for another minute or so. We know it's raining in different parts of the country and internet connections can go haywire.
If you do not have another device, you can might be open another browser, a tab on your browser. You just might have to shift between the Zoom screen and your other tab to answer the questions, to look at the question and answer the question.
Yeah, so please go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin 7021527. Okay, so I think the number is really increasing. Yes. So the rest of you who are trying to log in, if you're facing any issues, please send it on chat so that we can address the problem.
For those who have just joined on the call, we are doing a Kahoot quiz. Ensure that you have another device apart from the device on which you have the Zoom session running. On the device, go to your browser, type in kahoot.it. We'll ask you for a game pin once the page is loaded. Please enter 7021527 as the game pin. Enter your name or the name that you've registered with, or any nickname that you'd like to add. All right, we have 23 players on Kahoot right now.
Okay, so let's wait until it becomes 25 and then we'll start off. So Kahoot can be used as a great way of revising the topics that you have discussed in class, just to check how at par the students are. And you can, like you saw, you get a detailed report of every participant, the number of questions they've gotten wrong, the number of questions they've gotten it right. So you can decide what concepts have to be discussed again in class. Okay, so I think we're good to start. Let's start, Shilpa.
Yeah.
Okay, so wishing everybody all the best. Remember, don't take it too seriously. Have fun. And here's your first question. So which of the following projects name reflects the collaboration between India and Russia? Is it Lenin-Nehru? Is it BrahMos? Is it Sputnik? Or is it Shaurya? So you have 30 seconds and you can always adjust the timer for the question. So these are some of the questions from our family quiz so that you get an idea of the kind of questions that we ask in the Sunday family quiz. We have 5 seconds to go and we have 20 answers. And time up. Ooh, interesting. So it is BrahMos, it's Brahmaputra and the Moscovian River in Russia. That is the correct answer. Looks like a trap. Some of you fell for it, and no, it's not Sputnik. And Lenin-Nehru was a completely cooked up name. So let's go to our next question. We have a leaderboard. So let's see the leaderboard. Okay, let's just wait for it. Okay, so we have Amita on the top, followed by Nahid, Vishakha, and Aman. So you need to be quick. The sooner you press the answer, the more points that you get. Okay, let's go to the next question. This was one of the drafts of Google Doodles dedicated to which Indian actor? Is it Amrish Puri? Is it Amjad Khan? Is it Anupam Kher? Or is it Shakti Kapoor? So look at the image carefully. This was one of the sketches did not feature in the final version. This was a draft version. So this way you can also ensure that your students are paying attention and observing the clues that you're giving. And time up. Yes, this is Amrish Puri, none other than Amrish Puri Mogambo. Let's see the leaderboard now. I'm sure places have switched. Yes. So Amita maintaining the lead with Nahid, Vishakha, Pulse, and Sudha are in the top 5. Manu Acharya has climbed up 16 places. Good job. Let's go to the next question. Third question is a puzzle. So arrange the following prime ministers in chronological order. So the first prime minister comes first, followed by next, and the latest one. So this is a puzzle and we have given you 60 seconds. You need to move the puzzle pieces around and you need to click submit. So please don't forget to click submit. So puzzle is a format that you can use for science, for mathematics, for in history when you want to talk about the chronology of chronological order of events. So arrange the following prime ministers in chronological order. I think the first and the last one are obvious. Okay, so we have another 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Okay, and time up. Interesting. So the right order is Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajiv Gandhi, PV Narasimha Rao, and Manmohan Singh. Superb. 52% of you have gotten it right. 48% of you got confused and probably switched Narasimha Rao and Rajiv Gandhi. So let's go to our leaderboard. Let's click next. Okay, Vishaka maintaining her lead, followed by Sudha, Pulse, Amita, and Renisa. Manju has climbed up 12 places. Highest climber. Good job, guys. Let's go on with our quiz. Question number 4. In Roald Dahl's book, Willy Wonka built a chocolate factory for Prince Dash, named after which Indian Union territory? So is it Prince Chandigarh? Is it Prince Pondicherry? Or is it Prince Andaman or Prince Lakshadweep? You have another 15 seconds to go. So this is how you can mix up children's literature and social science. 5 seconds to go. Absolutely right. So this is Prince Pondicherry, and for those of you who read Roald Dahl's book, Willy Wonka actually wanted to make a chocolate factory. He made a chocolate palace for Prince Pondicherry. So let's see our leaderboard. Okay, we have Amita displacing Vishaka, followed by Hridaya, Sudha, Vishaka, and Manju. We have 3 players who are maintaining a hat-trick streak. So let's go on to the next question. Question number 5. Makhana or fox nuts, which are high in calcium and low in sodium, are sourced from which flower? Is it hibiscus? Is it sunflower? Is it tulip? Or is it lotus? Questions can also come from real life when you're really running out of ideas and you look around and you find makhana and make a question out of it. So 10 seconds to go. Shilpa, let's disable annotation.
Yeah.
2 seconds and time up. Okay, so yes, a popular snack is considered especially during fasting, which is very good in its nutritional value. Makhana is sourced from lotus. Okay, let's see the leaderboard. Okay, we have Hridaya followed by Amita, Vishaka, Sudha, and Manju. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, so this is a feedback time, which means you have a space for you to type out your experience of this Kahoot quiz. So you can type out, it's an open-ended answer. Or like in terms of teachers, we can say it's a 1 marker or 2 marker answer that we're looking for feedback. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let us know if you want us to give you a little more time. Okay, next. And this is the last question, a poll that we are conducting. Have you implemented any of the techniques discussed in the webinars? Yes, not yet. No, they're absolutely not helpful. Okay, so this is a poll feature that you can use in your Kahoot as well to get feedback from the children. Okay, 2 seconds to go. Okay, interesting to see most of you have used it and some of you are yet to use it. We really look forward to hearing from you about how it was helpful, any challenges that you had while implementing it. So let's go to next. Okay, and we have the podium finish. Vishaka in 3rd place, but I must say a consistent player. 2nd place by Amita, and 1st place is by none other than Hridaya, right? So congratulations. And you can also see Sudha and Manju as the runners-up. Let's click on next. Okay, so you get a detailed report after every Kahoot that you can access even after the Kahoot. You have a separate tab called reports. So Shilpa, let's go back to the, yeah, you can also click on view full report.
I'm not able to hear. There is some connectivity issue, I guess.
Okay, ma'am, so I was just saying that when you go to Kahoot, you have a separate tab on the top called reports, and you can see for every Kahoot that you run, you get a detailed report saying how many of them did not finish the quiz, how many of them needed help, right? So you can even see the ranks of individual players. Yeah, you can also download it as an Excel and share it with the concerned coordinators. Yeah. So yes, so that was Kahoot. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions with regard to Kahoot, do drop us a message on chat and we will answer them.
Yeah, thanks for that. Now moving on, after Kahoot, you can turn off your devices and we'll be running a round called Connect the Dots now. Vaishnavi, will you be reading this?
Yes, yeah. So for those of you who've attended our Qshala family quiz, Connect the Dots, you must be familiar with this. It's one of the crowd favorite round, I must say, and every week we receive messages saying we want more Connect the Dot kind of questions. Let's go to the next slide. So these are simple. You'll have 4 questions, and in every question we will give you a couple of clues, and these are slightly cryptic. So you need to connect all these clues and give us one overall answer. Now, so I think I've gone on and on about it. So let's go for a first question. So this is how you can use Connect the Dots for geography. So let's see the question. Connect all of these. Connect Indian Railways, Evernote, and a phrase meaning a major problem which is obviously present but is avoided as a subject for discussion. Then you see the maps of 2 continents, and you see a minimalist poster of a Disney movie. Now connect all of these. Okay, so you can send in your answers on chat. What connects all of these? So you can even make a note of all the clues that are mentioned in, and if that helps you figure out the theme. To give you a small clue, I'm looking for an animal. Okay, any answers coming in, Shilpa?
I have one answer saying racism.
Not racism. Again, the subject is geography, not history. And I said, I'm looking for an animal. Any geography teachers in the house?
I have an answer saying elephant. 2 answers, okay. Elephant, 3 elephants. 4.
Okay, more elephants coming in.
More elephants coming in, yes.
Okay, can we at random ask one of them to explain?
Dumbo movie, all right. Yeah, one of them says it's a Dumbo movie that's been shown here. Yeah. Cheetah, bird are some other answers. You can type in your answers on the chat box, either to Vaishnavi or to me.
Okay, Shilpa, let's unmute one of them so that they can explain the answer.
Sure. Miss Priyanka Singh, do you want to share the answer and why you think that's the answer? Ms. Priyanka, if you're there on the call, can you unmute yourself and...
Yes. Yeah. See, I was actually searching on the internet. So whenever I search for Evernote, I always see elephants. So I thought something related to elephants.
Okay.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Okay.
And can you
I
explain
did a.
other clues, ma'am?
Do you want to try?
I'm not sure about other clues.
Okay. Miss.
Okay, I can try. I think elephants are native to Africa and India, right? Africa has African elephants. India has Asian elephants.
Perfect.
And
That's
the
the map of
last one, I think it's a
Africa and Asia.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there is some movie based on elephants.
Okay.
It's with Dumbo or something. That's
Okay.
that's what I can get.
Okay. And what's the phrase, ma'am? Any guess for the
And
phrase?
I'm frankly speaking, I'm actually searching on the internet, so you can just pardon me or just
The phrase is elephant.
I'm just looking on the internet.
Perfect.
Miss-
Perfect answer, Miss Reema. So elephant in the room is the phrase that we're talking about. So Evernote mascot is an elephant. The mascot of Indian Railways is an elephant called Bolu. African elephants, Asian elephants, Dumbo the movie, and elephant in the room. Perfect. So let's see the answer. Yeah, so that is how you can take concepts from geography or any other subject and convert them into a connect question. And you can make it in such a manner that it's not easy for them to Google as well, right? So let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is for all the science teachers in the house. Okay, so connect these three personalities that you see, a famous automobile brand, a Hollywood actor, and a famous monument. Connect to a concept in science. Again, I'm looking for one word answer.
Very nice. Miss Amita says it's iron.
Okay.
Kavita also says iron, iron, iron.
Okay. Can we ask one of them at random?
Yeah. Yeah, Miss Anuradha, do you want to unmute yourself and tell what you think?
Hello. Hello, Shilpa. Are you able to? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Because first picture is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, so he is the Iron Man.
Right.
And the picture which is given here, it's a pillar. This is also made of iron.
Okay.
And the blood, this red color, so this is also iron, related with iron.
Correct.
And the symbol which is given, it's I think it's some vehicle symbol, if I'm
Correct.
not wrong.
Yes. Yes.
The vehicle also made with iron, but these two I have not connected it much with these two pictures, but I think so it is related with iron.
Okay, perfect answer, Miss Anuradha. The answer is iron. So let me explain. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Iron Man of India, Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, and you have Iram Sharmila, another person who's considered as Iron Lady, Iron Pillar in Delhi, Iron Man is Robert Downey Jr., Iron in Blood, and interestingly, Ferrari comes from ferrous, which is iron. Right, so the overall connection being iron.
Can I explain?
Yes, Miss Manjula.
Iron is, scientifically, iron is a mineral in your body that comes from different food. Iron is also an important part of hemoglobin. It's a protein which helps to carry oxygen in your body.
Right. So that is science from chemistry angle, from physics angle, and from biology angle. So let's see the answer. Yeah. Okay. And let's move to the next question. This is for all the history teachers in the house. Let's see the question. Okay. So it says anglicized form of Thakur, and there is a Bonvita advertisement. There is a famous actress and the logo of something, and then you have gave the title of Mahatma to Gandhi. I'm looking for a personality.
Very nice. I've gotten answers from Miss Vishakha, Reema, Divya, Kavita, Amita, Sati Parvati, Supriya. The same answers from all of them. Anuradha,
Okay.
Hema. Gonna wait for 2 more responses and ask one of you to share. Very nice. Most of you seem to know the answer. So Miss Hema Bhaskaran, do you want to go ahead and tell why and what do you think the answer is?
I thought, I mean, 3 things I could identify. Gitanjali is Rabindranath Tagore, Sharmila Tagore, and
Right.
the anglicized form of Thakur is Tagore.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect answer.
That's 3 elements.
Anybody else wants to explain the other elements?
Yeah, Vishbharti is Shantiniketan's, like it's, I think Shantiniketan is known as this institute or something. Mahatma Gandhi title was given to him by Rabindranath Tagore. Can't make out, I think Bonvita, I don't know.
Okay. Well, perfect, on track. Gitanjali Express.
I can tell why Bonvita is here.
Yes, ma'am.
At the last, it is written in Bengali.
Okay. Well, believe it or not, Rabindranath Tagore at one point in time promoted Cadbury's Bonvita.
Oh, okay. But it is
Yeah.
written in Bengali. Yeah, that.
Yeah, so we've actually blanked out Rabindranath Tagore's face, the white box that you see. So yes, Gitanjali Express named after Tagore's work. Tagore actually is an anglicized form of Thakur, interestingly, and Bonvita ad. Sharmila Tagore is related in a very distant way to Rabindranath Tagore. Mahatma, the title was given to Gandhi by him. And of course, Shantiniketan or Vishwabharati is the brainchild of Rabindranath Tagore. So let's see the answer. Okay, yes, so that was Rabindranath Tagore. We have something for the sub-junior category as well for teachers of grade 1 to 3 or pre-primary section. Connect the following. So you have a number called 100. You have this Disney animated movie called Zootopia. You have eyeglasses. And you have a lady there. We're looking for one answer.
Okay, I've gotten answers from Ms. Reema, Kavita, Vandana, Pallavi, Dr. Anita, Vishakha, Soma. Let's wait for a few more of you to answer. Most of you have figured out the answer mostly. Ms. Renisa. All right, can I have Ms. Renisa Chatterjee to go ahead and tell what she thinks the answer is and why?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, see, I think the answer should be police or cop because the symbol is IPS, Indian Police Service. Then there is that goggles which has that symbol of the police force. 100 is the 100 dial. The cloth is the color of the police uniform. This lady, she is a famous IPS officer. We all know her. And Zootopia, there was these characters where played the role of a cop. So I think it's a police or a cop.
Okay, perfect answer. Well, the eyeglasses is actually manufactured by a brand called Police.
Police, yes.
Yeah, so perfect answer. You've explained it very well. So the answer is Police. So you can use, there are many benefits of this. So let's move to the next slide. Yeah. So it encourages interdisciplinary approach. So you bring in social science, literature, all these different elements when you're talking about a particular concept. And next point, it improves critical thinking. So the clues are not obvious. They are not something that you can Google immediately. So you need to think out of the box. Yeah. And the next point being that it can be used to introduce a concept. So think about it. You have a question on Rabindranath Tagore, and then you talk about his work. And you have a question about, it's also a good way to revise the concept. So you've gone on and on about French Revolution, and then you make a connection question to see how much of it do they remember. Yeah. Next point. Yes, it also encourages the students to read more about the concept. So now I'm sure many of you did not know that Rabindranath Tagore promoted Born Vita, right? So that is something that you will definitely go back and read up more about. Okay, next point. Yeah, and it's also very less time consuming. Think of all the different points that you wanted to talk about, all squeezed into one slide. Yeah, next point. And it can be used for any age group, whether pre-primary or any subject as well. And you can also throw in a few audio visual elements to make it a lot more interesting. So I hope all of you would use the connection questions and make your classes a lot more effective as well.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for that, Vaishnavi. So one of the questions on the chat that I saw from Ms. Usha Kamath was, are these type of questions already available? You will have to create these, but it's very easy to create, ma'am. You just have to take a box shape from the shapes that is there on the PowerPoint and just paste these different images that you can easily Google or find from elsewhere. Right? So these connect questions have to be made by you, but it's not a very difficult way of doing it. You just have to be more creative in thinking what are the different ways that you can approach a specific topic. Like Vaishnavi mentioned, how you can connect something like Rabindranath Tagore with Born Vita and make it more interesting and build more critical thinking among the kids. So thanks a lot for that, Vaishnavi. Moving on, like I said, we're going to do a little bit more of hands-on today. All right. Yeah, so this is called Off to Space. Everybody has heard Hangman, right? How many of us have played Hangman? Can I have a thumbs up if you played Hangman at any point of time? All right, Ms. Renisa says she has. Anybody else? Divya, Ms. Divya has played, yes. All right, a good number of thumbs ups there. Yeah, so most of us know what Hangman is. For the others who don't know what Hangman is, it's basically a game where you guess a word. There are a specific number of blanks that are there within the word. And every time you guess the letter wrong, one part of the person gets closer to getting hanged, right? So because hanging is a bit of a negative thing, what we're going to do here is we're going to have a spaceship being built, right? So this is a very interactive game where you can play something like Hangman, where you can get the students to guess. Again, you can use this as a revision technique, as an introduction technique for many of your classes. We have a template for this available online, and I will be sharing the template with you separately as a resource at the end of the class for all the topics that we're talking about here. Off to Space, and these are the different instructions that you can give your students. An alien has landed into your house through a portal in your room. You start asking questions to know more about him, and he says that he'll stay to answer all your questions only if you guess all the letters in the word or words that are given, right? And you have time only till he finishes building his spaceship. So every time you get a letter wrong, he builds one step of the spaceship, and once he's done with all the steps of building the spaceship, he flies away and he's not able to answer a lot of your questions. And there are clues available for every question. But if you ask for a clue, you will lose one of your, he will be able to build one more step of his spaceship. All right. So I'm going to quickly show you how you can build this. This is the basic template that you will see. I hope everybody can see my screen. So this is the template. The letters appear on the left. There is something called a build button that is available. which is hyperlinked with this image here. And you can hyperlink, hyperlinking in PowerPoint is very easy. I will tell you how you can do this. So this is basically the slide template that you will get. Here is where you can enter the letters, and you can increase the number of letters by making these blocks smaller or bigger. Whatever word you have, for example, I'm going to use a word called teacher. So I'm going to replace the A's. Please remember that you shouldn't do a backspace on this or delete the entire block, because the block again is hyperlinked and has some animations that go on. So do not delete or move anything here. What we basically will be doing is selecting the letter, changing TEA, C, H, E, and R. So after we're done doing this, we can delete the leftover letters by selecting them and pressing on delete. All right, so this is teacher, and you can also hyperlink. These are some buttons that you can recreate again by just hitting Control-C, Control-V. If you want to give more clues to your kids, or if you want to go to the previous question to the next question, you can include these buttons. Hyperlinking in PowerPoint is very, very easy. So what I'm going to do is clue 1. I have a slide here where I can provide clues to the kids if they are not able to guess any of the letters. So I'm going to hyperlink this button. When I click this button while I'm on slideshow, I should be able to go to the next slide, or the slide number 40. So I'm going to say link. And when I say link, there are 3 options that are available on the left side, and I'll say place in this document. And it will show me all the slides that are available in this particular document. And I want to link this button with the slide number 40. So I click on 40 and I say OK. Now on slide 40, I'm going to just type in one random clue saying a mentor who imparts education might be. So that's going to be my clue. And this again is a button which takes us back to the question once you've read through the clue. So I'm going to link that to slide number 39 here. Okay. And the next button here will lead us to the next question. So my next question is on slide 42. So I'm going to link that with slide number 42 here. Or let's say slide. Okay. So yes, these are some instructions that will come along with the template. While creating your content, select each of the letters to replace it with your choice of letter. Whenever the children give out a letter, I will show you how it should be done live. So now that I've told you how you can enter the clues, again, you can delete the object blocks here, the letter blocks here. Keep whatever you need. You can increase the number of them that are there. You can reduce the size of each of these blocks, small or big. These objects are something that you can move up or down, but make sure you do not change any of the animations that are there. So you can move this up here, and I will quickly show you on how you can run this as a game. All right. So when you put it on play mode, this is what your screen will look like. So anybody, I'm sure you already know what the word is. So we get the kids to quickly guess some of the letters. So the first letter, usually we start off in Hangman, we start off with a vowel, right? So I'm going to click on, if someone says A, we click on A to make sure that the letter is not repeated again. And the teacher or the facilitator, whoever is running, will manually click on one of these boxes which has the letter A in it, right? So my word is teacher. So I know that the third letter is A. So I'm going to click on A and it appears there. right? So, and if in case they give a wrong word, right, or wrong letter. So one of the kids says L. So I know L is not there in my list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on build, which builds one part of the spaceship, right? So again, moving to O. O is again not part of the list. So I'm going to click, and there's one more thing that's getting built. I say S, no. T, there. Again, someone says E. I click it there. So that's how it goes. I'm going to finish off the letters C and H, E there, and R. So if they give any wrong responses, so we saw 3 steps of building the spaceship. So you can take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's it. He flies away, right? So you have 9 chances for the kids to answer to find out what the word is that we're talking about. So that's basically how the building a spaceship. This is a very nice technique for senior or junior kids. Younger kids will find it really exciting to try and answer words like this. So let's move on to a quick round of, yeah, so this is the clue, and I go back to the question. I click on the next slide and it takes me to the first word. Now let's have you guys guessing how to do this. Let's start off with the guesses. You can unmute yourselves and tell one letter that you want me to enter here. What is this word that we're talking about? It has 2 words. The first word has 6 S. Okay, I got an S here, so I'm going to click on S.
E.
Right, 1 minute.
Next is put A.
Okay, E. I got A. All right, let's see. Sorry. All right.
T.
T.
R.
T. 1 minute.
Can I guess the whole word? Can I guess the whole word?
It's
1
online
minute.
classes.
T. All right.
Online classes. Online classes.
It's
Not
Google
online
classes.
classes.
It's Google Classroom.
Google classes.
Google
Okay,
Classroom.
can you spell that out for me? Yeah, can you spell
Google.
Google
CLASSROOM.
All right. Yes, that is the Google Classroom. So I was going to give a clue if you needed one, but obviously you did not. So that's a great guess. Thanks a lot for that. That's how this works. Let's go on with 2 more words and we'll move on to the next technique that we're talking about. So who wants to start guessing with this? Again, 2 words.
A.
A. All right.
R.
Next.
R.
R. Okay.
E.
E.
Yes, E.
All right. E. I saw an S on the chat.
H.
O.
H and O. H is not there. I'm sorry. O is surely there.
T.
Can you say, did you mean T?
T. Yes.
Okay. All right. So T is right. What do you think?
Microsoft Teams.
All right. M.
Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams.
MI.
All right. That's great. That's right. That's exactly right. So moving on to the next one. So I guess you guessed what's the trend is now. So moving on, let's see if you can guess this here. Let's start the guessing.
S.
S. Okay.
A.
1 minute. Let me finish S. Someone.
W.
A. Let me finish off with A. W. Not really.
R.
W.
P.
Yeah.
P.
What was that?
V.
V, is it? Not really.
I.
E.
E?
E.
Okay, I heard an E.
Yeah.
Yes, E is there. What do you think we're talking about? Anybody wants a clue?
O. C. O.
C.
O?
C.
Oh.
O.
C.
O.
Okay, I'm going to take an O here. I heard, sorry. I heard a V.
D. Break rooms.
D.
Breakout rooms. Breakout rooms.
Okay, yes, that's right. Breakout rooms. That's the word we were talking about, something that you use in Zoom to separate sessions, also available in Microsoft Teams and Google Meet now. So yes, it helps you to split your Zoom meeting into separate sessions so that the students can have small group discussions and get back. That was Zoom breakout rooms that we were talking about. That's great. Thanks a lot for participating, everyone. Moving on, there's another game called Pair Up here, which is a memory game. And I'm sure most of us know how Pair Up works. So basically what we're going to show here is there are going to be a few slides. So there's basically 16 slides on my slide here, on my screen here. So 16 slides will be shown in front of you and you have to match the similar tiles. Again, I'm going to quickly show an example on how you can do this or basically how this template works. So this is what the template usually looks like. You have a few blocks. There is a covering block which has the title or the number or an identification that you have. When you move underneath it, you have another block which will be revealed and closed within 5 seconds, or you can set the duration for which it can be open or close. So here what the setting that I have made is that up to 3 clicks, whenever you click 1, 2 or 3, any of these numbers, the first 3 clicks, it opens for 5 seconds and closes back. And at the 4th click, the number disappears and you can see it out in the open, right? So that's how it works. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a game. I'm going to quickly create a game where I am going to say, I'm going to ask kids to find out opposites of words. So I'm going to move these blocks around and yeah, so I'm going to use some very simple words like hot, cold.
House, slow.
Okay, just a minute. Fast and slow. Any other words anybody wants to recommend?
Up and down.
Up.
Big, small.
I think we're done. That's and down. So yes, I'm moving back the number blocks here so that you don't get to see what the answers are. So these are some very easy functions where you just say, send this to back so that only one of those blocks are visible. So here we have animations that are done only on the topmost block. So make sure that you don't delete the topmost blocks that are there. That is the number blocks that we are seeing. You can add as many of these combinations as possible.
मानसी, तूने बोला है?
All right. So quickly playing this. So quickly, how we're going to do this is you open this and I keep it open for it. So it's open for 5 seconds and it closes. So the first time you start off a game, what you do is ask the kids to closely observe while you open each of these. All right. And okay, I think I did something there. Okay. So just playing that one more time. I'm going to play all of this, and it closes off just like that. Who wants to choose the first number and find the opposite?
5.
Number 2.
Number 2, that's slow.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Number 3.
Really.
Number 3.
Number 4.
Number 3, not
Number
really.
4.
Number 4,
4.
that's right. Yeah. So slow and fast. I'm going to press that one more time so that the letter is revealed. Yes. So 2 and 4 are done. Now, who wants
1 and 3.
5 and 6.
1 and
3?
You say, okay, 1 and 3, 5 and 6. Yes, that's right. 5 and 6 are
Up, down.
And hot and cold. Now let's do it for reals this time. Okay, now that we know how to do this, let's have a quick round of reveal memory game. Let's see how many of you can remember how much of this. Okay. All right. So yes, who wants to choose your, let me first open up all these for you. I'm going to spend a little bit more time so that you have some time to see what it is. That's a planet. That's something that's written about a place. That is something there. I'm closest to the sun, it says, and the hottest planet is again one of the astronomical objects named after the Roman god of war. This is another astronomical object. It says I have 79 moons. Another heavenly object, place that supports life, and this is another image that we have. All right, I hope everybody got some time to look at it. Again, if you are doing for younger kids, you can increase the time duration. I'll show you how to do that when we go out of the slideshow mode. You can increase the duration, you can increase the number of animations that you have. Okay, who wants to guess the first number?
2 and 5.
2 and 3 and 5 is what I heard. Yes, that's Saturn, which has beautiful rings made of
9 and 16.
11 and 16.
All right, 11 and 16. That's right. 11 and 16.
7 and 10.
7 and 10, you say. 7, I'm closest to the sun, and that's Mercury. That's exactly right. Anybody else? So we've got Saturn with the beautiful rings.
8 and 14.
To the sun. 8 and 14, I hear. Not really.
1 and 13.
1 and 13. Not really.
12 and
Not the
14.
same planet.
13 and 15.
13 and 15, that's right. That's Jupiter, which is the largest planet on the Earth and which has 79 moons. That's right.
8.
9 and 14.
9 and 14, you say. I'm the hottest planet, and not really.
9 and 4.
9 and 4, not really. That looks
6 and 14.
Planet. 6 and 14, I'm named after the messenger of God. Not really.
8 and 14.
8 and 14, okay.
8, 9, 12.
12, is it? Okay. Yes, that's the red planet, which is the Mars, which is named after the Roman god, of war. Yes, that's right. What else are we left with?
8.
Yes, 8 and 8 is this quite tilted planet which has a ring around it, another planet with a ring which is quite tilted and it feels like it's lying down and going around the sun.
2.
Which planet is this? 2. Yes, I'm the ring planet that sits on my side. That's right. That's the Uranus. Moving on, I'm named after the Roman god messenger god and I'm the fastest. That's Mercury again. And going ahead with 4. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah. So that was Neptune. I guess I didn't give a clue for Neptune there, but yeah, so that's how this works. Moving to how you can actually edit the animations. So like I said, the topmost block here.
कहाँ पे? कहाँ से आई? वो मेरे compound है.
Can you mute yourselves? I think I can hear some background noise of talking. Please mute yourselves if you don't have anything to share. All right, so yeah, this is how you can actually change the animation. So right now, if you see, for this particular block, I can open the animation pane and it tells me what is the what is going to happen. So on click, what I'm going to do is for the first object, whenever I click on the number 1, the box with the number 1, there are 3 clicks. Whenever it happens, it appears, that is, it disappears and it comes back. So that is the animation that I have. And the last one is basically an exit effect that we have, which is basically that the number goes off, the block goes off permanently, right? So this again, if you see, there is a trigger option that is available. The trigger is basically on the click of what object. And if you see for these options, there is a duration on how long the animation stays, right? So if you can see here, there is a duration of 5 seconds that is set. For you can increase the duration if it is older or younger kids that you are looking at, and if they need more time of observation. And for older people, for senior kids, it can be much lesser, the duration for which you reveal the card, right? So that's a very interesting way of doing it. This is some way that you can implement for flashcards, for other things also. So that's basically what we had, which was the pair up or the memory game and the spaceship or the hangman game. What we also have here is called mystery squares. This is something similar to Jeopardy that we use. So mystery squares is, this is something like a grid that we have. Again, something that uses basic animations in PowerPoint. And basically behind every block that I have certain points. So what you can do here is you can hyperlink these, or you can just have random questions. So what we did at work for our students also was that we just had different topics that were written on top of each of these slides, or certain questions that we wanted to ask on each of these boxes. And once they answered it, we revealed it open and they got those many points that answer, right? So you can use this for English, for all your languages, for all your subject related, any questions that you want to ask your questions, or even ask your kids, or even if you want them to you know, talk about certain topics like might be geography, history. When you want them to talk about some topic, you can, if you see there are points that they get for each of this. So this kind of increases the competitive spirit among the kids and makes them quite kind of excited about it. So if you see, there are different coins that are placed. Again, these coins are something that you can replace while you, yeah, so depending upon the difficulty of the question, you can increase the number of points that they get upon answer, right? And if they don't get the answer right, they just lose those many points. So that's basically how this works. Again, simple animations that are already there. You can just move these blocks around and change the coin that is there, or you can have some other exciting thing that you want to reveal once they give out the answer. So that basically depends on how you want to create this. But this is something similar to Jeopardy, where they get certain points for getting whatever, for answering whatever questions you are asking them. So this is another exciting game with very simple animations. Again, the link and the templates will be shared. Maze Goes Nuts, again, a very fun game for kids, for the younger kids mainly, where they get to, so basically there is a maze that will be shown in the next slide. There are some obstacles that they have to prevent, that they shouldn't go through. There is a particular route through which they can pass, and they have to attempt and destroy all the obstacles that they have. If there are questions that will be asked, again, if you see the maze here, these can be hyperlinked to the next slide, to whichever slide is there. And yeah, you can edit this maze. You can change the images here. You can change the picture to anything that you want to make it more daring, if you want to look at however you want to change the theme or the background over here. But these are the basic buttons that you will be having to edit. Once you finish, so this maze, basically how it works is, once you finish clicking on this particular block, it disappears, right? So once you come back, there is, if one of the people guesses, let me just try that. So once you go there and you come back here, you will see that 2 has disappeared. Haven't been set. Right. So basically that's how it works. I'm going to quickly hyperlink this to slide number 58. Show you how this works. And these are the back and front buttons that are there, which let you go back to the original slide. All right, let me do that quickly for you. So you click on 2 and it goes to the slide where you have your question or whatever you have to ask. And then you go back, and if you see, the number 2 has disappeared. So they get a route to, this was blocked by this obstacle that was 2. And now they get into this. Once you go hit 3, they have to find their route out, and to be able to get out of the maze, they have to answer all the questions that you give them. Right, so that's another interesting way of creating that. For the image, Manjula, Miss Manjula, I'm guessing you're asking for the previous game that we were talking.
Yes, ma'am. All are interesting, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah, for this, the time limit basically is, if you see, there is a trigger option that you will see in the animations. So if you go to the animations, you will see something called start, duration, and trigger. Start is basically how it should start, where you say, should it start on, once you click on that button, which is basically what we want to do. And for how long does this particular animation happen? So here we are saying, we're asking it to blink. So how long does it have to blink? Like blink is basically open and close, right? So it will stay on, it will stay open for 5 seconds and then it will close off. Or there is a delay for it to start off. So basically we work with this particular area where we say the duration. You can even increase the number of clicks that you use. It can be 3, or you can decrease the number of clicks if you want it to get revealed and stay open for the entire part of the game. You can leave it open while the kids guess the other slides also, the slabs also. So that's basically how you do it. Any other questions? So that's basically what we had for today. Do check out our Qshala YouTube channel if you or any of your peers or colleagues haven't been able to attend any of our webinars until now. You can go and view the session recordings in our YouTube channel, along with a lot of other interesting trivia and information that we post on our channel on a daily basis.